Hello, Namaste, and welcome to my channel, Spiritual with Gina, where I encourage you to live from your soul. My name is Gina. Today I have for you guys a video that has taken a while to fully put together, and I think part of that is because I wanted to be sure to be super grounded as I was talking about this topic. And also just making sure all of my points were very succinct and to the point. But without further ado, I have for you guys, why is the New Age to Jesus movement so popular? And then the title, I called it The Phenomenon Pipeline, because I feel that a lot of people kind of end up in this scenario to where they're coming from the New Age to Jesus. And I find that to be very interesting. And like I said, a phenomenon. So first, before you come at me, I've had two people in my life go from New Age to Jesus in front of my eyes. So I would say that I actually have very, very intimate experience. One was a close friend, one was more so of an associate, but still it's happened in my personal world. And I would say the first reason why this happens, this phenomenon of New Age to Jesus and it's a pipeline, is because of lack of understanding on how religion slash spiritualism diffused. So what does that mean? Basically, to really understand religion, you have to study how it diffused, you have to understand how it spread, and particularly you have to understand when native spiritualism was intercepted by an outside force that we know as religion currently. So yeah, studying the diffusion of it. And I think in particular, studying the religions even and how Christianity, which is a monotheistic religion, or Abrahamic religion as well, is also the umbrella term used. And then we have Judaism, which is Abrahamic, and then we have Islamic, or Muslims, and they are also Abrahamic under that little umbrella. So we have to begin to understand how these religions were diffused. And most of the time it was because it was by force, basically. So basically it's like this. People had to give up their native spiritualism in order to survive, essentially. And so we're living in a society where that is the fallout. The fallout is kind of a lack of connection to native spirituality because an outside force, Christianity, came in and said, no, 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 this is the right way. When really, when you are someone that is advanced in your spirituality, you understand that each religion represents a specific cultural interpretation of God and what it means to be human. And oftentimes those interpretations collide and they merge. And I would say that even something like the Bible is simply an amalgamation of different viewpoints and maybe even some original Christian viewpoints, but still it is an amalgamation of differing viewpoints, cultural viewpoints. And so I believe that this New Age to Jesus pipeline is a thing because people don't understand how spiritualism works, essentially. Like, we don't understand the historical context, the 3D grounded historical context, because even things like Christianity, Gnosticism is its esoteric form, Judaism, Kabbalah is its esoteric form, Islamic, Sufism is its esoteric form. So every religion, basically, religion, meaning organized, dogmatic text, has more so of a spiritualistic background, just unknown for some reason. So yeah, that's the number one reason why I think people from New Age to Jesus, the pipeline, I think that's a number one reason. And this is, by the way, in no particular order. So second reason why I believe this New Age to Jesus pipeline is a thing, is a phenomenon, is because of lack of ancestral connection. So it kind of goes back to the first point, to where we have been disconnected from our native spiritualism. And so we often find ourselves compensating with a more external religion that came to us by force. And again, it's not to disregard the wisdom of the Bible or any other religions. It's simply to say that, it's simply to say that, you know, it's not native. It's not authentic to the lineage of the people. And I think particularly for African Americans, you know, Christianity is not native to Africa. Different, I don't know what differing tribes did, but I know in my particular lineage, and that is would be Mali, and that would also be Nigerian. They were more into animism, which means that the source of energy, the source of God is found in all things living or not. So yeah, I would say lack of ancestral connection is really what trips people up, because again, if you go back to what our ancestors were doing, you know, they were good people, you know, I think even some ancestral practices, particularly Native Americans, had even more so of a reverence and more so of an honor for certain facets of life than even Christians do, you know. And even the Bible, if you want to really like go all crazy, in my religion growing up, Hebrew Pentecostal, I couldn't wear earrings, I couldn't get tattoos, I couldn't wear pants, I couldn't eat pork. So it was very, very restrictive, but again, more and so aligned with that interpretation of what it means to connect with God and what it means to be human. A later interpretation, in fact. And so, yeah, lack of ancestral connection can really trip us up, because that is the core of who we are on a DNA level, you know, and so it's really important to ground and to understand that. So the next reason why I believe the New Age to Jesus phenomenon pipeline is a thing is because people did not have spiritual gifts to develop. So what does that mean? Of course, this will be varying because it just depends on your particular situation. But let's say you have a gift of mediumship, but you're a Christian. But growing up, you can't really shake this feeling that, holy crap, I'm like connecting with spirits, I'm seeing spirits. Or even let's do one that's less, you know, aggressive than mediumship. Let's say you have a spirit of intuition. You know when you're around someone who isn't necessarily a good person, yet you just don't know why. You know that person's a bad person, but you know that person, something about their energy, their aura is just like augmented, degenerative. And so when you get to the New Age, what I'm saying here is that people who often revert back to Jesus, they never really had deep intuitive gifts that they noticed to develop. And I say this very lightly because I also had some gifts that I had no clue about, and I had to be in a more spiritualistic mindset in order to develop them. And so it wasn't the core reason why I got into spirituality, but I would say that I definitely had gifts to develop for sure. The intuitive gift and also a dream gift. But yeah, people don't have gifts to develop. They don't notice that they know certain things or they experience certain things, and their religion doesn't acknowledge or explain that. And when they go to ask questions, those questions are read the Bible, pray about it, read the Bible, pray about it, like the same answer over and over again. And so I believe it's popular again because there were no gifts to develop. And this may be on a conscious or subconscious level. It really depends. I'm not saying that the people who are in this pipeline don't have gifts to develop, but what I'm saying is they didn't go into spiritualism consciously wanting to understand why they had the gift. And yeah, so that's that point. And so the next point I have here is the form of spiritualism. So form of spiritualism means, oh my God, I have crystals. Oh my God, I read tarot cards. Oh my God, I have a cute little sphere. Oh my God, like I can do XYZ, like forms of spirit. Oh my God, I wear like head wraps. Oh my God, I wear these, like I wear certain clothing, you know. It's a very much having a form of spiritualism, but not going beyond the surface of what it means to be spiritual. So basically, I actually did a blog about this, what that I will have to repost on my new website, but it's the trend of artificial spirituality, and I'm going to call it like I see it. It's artificial. Reading tarot cards does not make you spiritual, even though it can be a bridge into spiritualism. Having crystals don't make you spiritual, although again, it can be a bridge into spiritualism. Doing anything, even working with your chakras, doing anything doesn't make you spiritual, but again, it can be a bridge into what it truly means to be spiritual. So yeah, I feel that many people take on the forms of spirituality, but not truly what it means to be spiritual at the core. And the last reason why I believe that this pipeline is a phenomenon and that it's very, very active, and that's because people don't have really any core questions or any like doubts in their head that their religion did not answer. What does that mean? So basically I had very, very serious questions about life. Like I questioned, okay, how was the earth made? Because I didn't really believe science, didn't really believe the Bible. So I was like, how was the earth really made? What about dinosaurs? What about the myths? What about certain like words in the Bible? Like there's instances of the Bible using the word unicorn. And I'm like, what? Why is that in the Bible? How were the races developed? Because I feel that certain people have more so adaptability to this planet versus other people. So I had a very, very serious questions about life and what it meant to be human. And I would also say that I also had a very disconnected interpretation of what it meant to be connected with God. So for me, it was a two-way street, or a two-pronged thing. So yeah, like I just had very, very serious questions. So I believe people who come from New Age to Jesus, the pipeline, they don't really have serious questions. Like they don't have anything that really weighs on their spiritual mind, and on their spirit, which is connected to the spiritual mind. So I'm going to end it there. I'm sure there are more reasons, and I'm sure also this list will evolve and grow. But at this point in time, these are the reasons why I believe that many people come from the New Age to Jesus, and why it's a phenomenon and why it's a pipeline. So I hope this video, resonated with you guys. And if it did, leave your favorite emoji below, and also maybe your favorite point as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bless.